Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Sideboard Files on HEDRON.TV. Manuel here, your host as usual, and I have the pleasure to have here once again joining the show, Arne, the control man.
That's right.
Hello there.
Hey.
How you doing?
Great.
Excellent.
We talk about magic, eh?
Yes, absolutely. It's good to have you back, and it's good to talk about magic and modern again.
Yeah.
White-blue control. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the changes. We're going to talk about your new cyber configuration.
Yeah.
And also two specific matchups at the end of the episode. Give Storm.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it's like this one is a tough one. Yeah,
yeah, really.
And the other one, blue-white control versus TitanShift, another tough one. So we go.
What is tough day?
Right, very good. So let's start with the main deck list. So yeah, quite a few changes there.
Yeah.
And that's what I'd like to talk about. Not only the changes, we can also see the changes card by card, but as far as I understand, since you were somehow, let's say, forced to change a few cards in there because of the new meta, something has changed in the way you play the deck.
Yeah, totally. You basically played a tap-out control deck. You didn't get punished for tapping out in your own turn.
That was for the previous version they discussed about 1 month ago.
Yeah. And now I have to play more instant speed, and the rise of the combo decks forced me to do this. So we have to cut the planeswalkers mostly and expensive stuff that was played in their own turn.
So you want to be more reactive?
Yeah.
Always have mana open. You have to.
Otherwise you're dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you tap out once, and in this current meta,
it's just
over.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see a bit the flexi slots and the changes that you did.
Yeah. The land base. That's the small changes. We played 2 Ghost Quarters, and Ghost Quarters helped us in the Shadow matchup, cutting them off of any color. But to be honest, you don't really need the Ghost Quarters, and I changed them to just Tectonic Edges, which helped me in the TitanShift matchup. I added 1 Mystigate. Mystigate helps me casting Ruined Halos from the sideboard and gives me more consistency casting Cryptic Commands turn 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like a mana fixer that you need for the new configuration.
Yeah, that's it. I added 2 Spell Snares. The Spell Snares helps me in combo matchups because TitanShift Ram spells cost mostly 2 mana, or in the Storm matchups, the cost reducers like Baral or Electromancer cost also 2, and the rituals and so even the counter spells like Remand and so on cost 2 mana. And Spell Snare is just a great catch-all card, and the meta game in Modern got a lot quicker, and Spell Snare is slowing them down.
Okay. So you can catch all these key cards from different decks, and also some creatures. Scavenging Ooze or Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, or Voice of Resurgence.
With the gold card. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so catches also Voice of Resurgence.
That's right. I played 1 Vanilla Click in the sideboard, and I was always boarding the Vanilla Click after game 1, so I decided to play it in the main board. It's a great clock, helps me seeing the hand of the opponent, and is a flash creature, which helps me putting a clock on your opponent.
Sure, fits the strategy of your deck at the moment. You want to play at some speed, you want to apply some pressure, everything goes quicker. And Vendilion is quick enough.
Yeah, that's right. I added another Cryptic Command. Cryptic Command is it's the best counterspell in the format. It's slow, I know, but it helps me in TitanShift matchups and big mana decks. It's awesome. Just counter them something and bounce a land, or counter draw, it's just the best counterspell in the format. I added 1 Secure the Waste. It's just awesome to put end of turn a clock on the opponent. So this card is designed for it.
Right, so this is like another win condition.
Yeah, it's just another win condition.
So before you were relying mainly on Planeswalkers, and now it's...
And Celestial Colonnade.
Yes, Celestial Colonnade, and now you need instead these kind of cards. And as an engine, you don't have any more like cards like Think Twice,
Yeah.
because the meta is quicker,
Yeah.
you need more Cryptic Command, so
Yeah.
that's more or less the direction you want to go for.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Anything else we should add?
No.
Okay, then we just go for the sideboard.
Yeah, sure.
Right, so here we are. We have 2 Rest in Peace, 2 Stony Silence, 2 Negate, 2 Dispel, 1 Supreme Verdict, 2 Ruined Halo, 2 Disdainful Stroke, 1 Surgical Extraction, and 1 Crucible of Worlds. So, you were mentioning before that you have this new build because the meta has changed.
Yeah.
You need to play at a faster pace. You need to play at instant speed, be more reactive. I guess your sideboard configuration is somehow aligned with this strategy.
Yeah.
So what kind of sideboard is this?
It's a sideboard that helps me in bad matchups.
Okay.
There are some cards there that are only against some matchup that are nearly unwinnable without them. Just silver bullets against some
those 2 that
matchups.
we're talking about today, I believe, are 2 very hard matchups. Okay.
Yeah. And some cards just helping me in matchups. Like another,
Okay, so you have a mix. Let's say a good part of the sideboard is designed for the combo matchups.
Yeah.
And there are other slots that instead are just tools to deal with, let's say, different archetypes.
Yeah, that's right.
So that would somehow be a resume of
yeah, that's it.
of the reasoning behind this sideboard configuration. Okay, so I see you have a few cards that are familiar up here, and there is also sort of new section down here.
Yeah.
So I would like to start with the new stuff, because I'm always curious about the new stuff.
And we talked about the old stuff.
The old stuff we talked about already, so we can briefly discuss it, but this is more interesting. Yeah. For those who are not really familiar with the sideboard and with these cards in the blue-white control, you can have a look at the previous episode that we recorded around 1 month ago. I think it's still perfectly relevant. And you find it in the video section of the channel, of course. Pretty easy to find. It's the only other white-blue control, so you can't miss it. All right, going back to business. Rune Halo. 2 copies.
Yeah.
What is this for?
First of all, I tested the white leyline. The leyline is a great card in the starting hand, but it's a bad top deck. And for me, the leyline is just a combo card. They have so much card selection with Zero Visions, Sleight of Hand, and so on, so they don't draw more of them. I can't afford this. So
you don't have that kind of situation now.
So leyline is not an option in the sideboard.
Okay.
But Ruined Halo fits this role. It's perfect because you want to draw more of them in some matchups. And I'm testing 2, but maybe I will afford playing more. So sometimes you play against, let's say, against TitanShift, and you put them in. The first one names Valakut, the second the Titan, Primeval Titan, or you play against Shadow, you just name Shadow, and another names Tazigur or something like that. So it's always a good top deck.
Sure. If you know what your opponent is up to, you can always name the key card, the card that annoys you the most. Of course, very, very effective versus combo.
Yeah.
But a card that you can use in other matchups as well.
Another thing which comes in mind is naming their land creatures, the man lands. It's awesome. You can always Supreme Verdict, and you don't get killed by the man lands. So it's really nice card.
Yeah, very good. Yes. Okay, so next, Disdainful Stroke, 2 copies.
Like we told before, one of the weakness of this deck is big mana decks, and Disdainful Strokes help me in these matchups. Like Tron or Eldrazi Tron or Primeval Titan, even in some combo matchup like Ad Nauseam, just counter there Ad Nauseam with Disdainful Stroke. And it's just a catch. Sometimes it just feels like a counterspell in these matchups. So
yeah, sure. Awesome. They have high converted mana cost cards, so you can just say no.
Yeah,
that's what you do.
That's what I want to have in Modern. But yeah.
Okay, very good. Surgical Extraction, I mean, pretty known graveyard hate.
Yeah.
Very effective versus combo decks. So fits the design of the deck right now.
It's just a silver bullet.
Yeah.
Just a silver bullet against these combo decks. Countering their win condition and surgical it afterward, it's like win.
Yeah, it's game.
Yeah.
It's game most of the
Or
time.
destroying their Valakut and surgical it. Or against Dredge.
Yeah, sure.
It's so much targets in this fast matchup.
Yeah.
And it's for free. It's casting, it's only about two life.
Yeah, sure.
So why not?
Again, you can another card you can cast and keep your mana open.
Yeah, that's right.
That's also important.
Exactly.
I mean, you don't splash black anyway at the sources, but
No.
this is also important anyway. So last but not least, I mean, here at the bottom, Crucible of Worlds. This is an interesting one. This is something very specific, I believe.
Yeah. It's just against big mana decks.
Okay.
Before I was playing Ghost Quarters, and it's like a lock because
Yes.
they're playing so few basic lands. But I can't afford playing this anymore.
Yes, you had them in the main deck. I remember that.
Yeah, I was playing this in the main deck. Not last time, but I was playing it maybe a half year ago. But this card is really good against just a silver bullet with Tectonic Edge against Eldrazi Tron or Tron in general or TitanShift and big mana decks.
Sure.
Helps me a lot.
Sure. A perfect synergy there with Tectonic
Yeah,
Edge.
and
just,
sometimes it's just helping me getting my own land drops because, control decks love playing lands.
Yeah, very true.
Or
Okay.
rebuying a Celestial Colonnade in grind matchup sometimes is also awesome.
Okay, excellent. So going to the upper row here.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, pretty clear what's that for. We know shuts down the graveyard completely.
Engine. Just a graveyard engine.
Yeah. So any deck that is somehow exploiting this kind of synergies from leaving into, I don't know, Grixis Death Shadow or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All good.
This card is awesome against Grixis Shadow.
Yeah, sure. No Tazigor, no Gurmag Angler, no
and
nothing.
no K-Command engine with Snapcaster Mage, the whole Snapcaster deck.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, the interaction with the Kolaghan's command as Snapcaster and then playing again, all this kind of stuff, just not possible anymore.
The activatability of Tazigor, or even it's awesome against Jeskai Tempo decks because this is also a Snapcaster deck, and
you want to shut down that engine. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Stony Silence, Affinity, or any other deck that exploits Eldrazi-Tron, so they cannot look for their lands.
Lantern Control.
Yeah. Lantern is also true. Yeah, absolutely. Covers also quite good number of matchups.
Yeah.
And 2 is, I guess, the right number. You want to see it, but you don't want to see it too often.
It's not like a Ruined Halo that can name other things. It's just only for artifacts, and having one is enough.
Sure. But you need to see it fairly early in the game, otherwise it's a problem.
It's awesome against Vial decks, Ether Vial. It's nice to just destroy the Ether Vial because the deck isn't good with the Ether Vial. They have to play at sorcery speed, and that's not what the deck wants to do.
Okay.
And it's awesome against it.
Okay. So, more counters. 2 negate, 2 dispel. What are these for?
Negates, it's just against combo decks or control mirrors or decks that are playing non-creature spells.
Okay.
And this spell is, I love this card in Modern. It's so good against a lot of decks like company decks. You can counter the Collected Company, Quarter Calling. Against tempo decks like Jeskai Tempo or Delver decks. It's good against combo decks. It's one of the best counter spells in the format, in my opinion. So,
okay.
Play 2.
Okay. Useful stuff for the mirror probably as well, if you're playing a control mirror or
that's
something.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And last one, Supreme Verdict. That's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, creature-based deck, you just reset and that's it.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Okay. Very good. So I think we said it all for the sideboard. We can start talking about the specific matchups. And the first one I'd like to talk about is Gitz Storm. What are your objectives in game 2 when you face this deck?
First of all, shut down the graveyard. They need a graveyard to win. So don't letting them having a graveyard
At all.
is
Yes.
just a game winner.
Yeah.
And the second thing is play around Blood Moon, patch for basics.
Okay. Very important, this one.
Yeah, sometimes they're bought in Blood Moons to
Okay.
disrupt you.
Okay.
Yeah. Another thing is don't board out too much removal, especially mass removal. Let it in because they're bought in emptied warrants. And sometimes you just can't let empty warrants for 100 resolve and just clean up the board after your turn.
Sure.
Sure.
So your mass removers should stay in.
Yeah.
And you want also to have spot removers to deal with key creatures
You have
like
to.
Goblin, Electromancer, or Baral. You need to kill these on sight.
You have to.
Okay. Very good. So sideboard plans on the play and on the draw, are they the same?
They're the same. You don't change anything.
Okay, very good. So I would just ask you straight away what you side out and what you side in.
Yeah. I bought out 2 Cryptic. Cryptic commands are bad in this matchup because their counterspells are more efficient and just cheaper. That's the main thing. 2 Gideons. The Gideons are too slow and you can't afford to play this on turn 3 or even turn 6. It's just a lose. 1 Jace. The Jace is too slow and you can't afford tapping out. The Think Revelation is also a X spell that don't help you really much.
Okay. Because the game goes fairly fast. You don't have time for this kind of card.
That's it. The Spreading Seas, turning their islands to islands is not a really big deal for them.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And the 2 Wall of Omens, because on turn, the big turn is turn 2, and you don't want to tap out for a wall that just draw.
Sure. Absolutely not useful in this matchup.
Yeah.
Okay. So what comes in?
Yeah, the 2 Ruined Halos are awesome. Always name the gifts.
Okay.
Gifts ungiven, because it's target opponent, and when they can't target you with gifts, they can't search for answers for your Ruined Halos, so they have to draw them naturally. So
that's very important to point out. That's very important to know.
So Ruined Halo is really awesome this matchup. 2 Rest in Pieces.
Shutting down the
Just
graveyard.
a silver bullet, 1 Supreme Verdict, because I want to have 4 because of the empty warrants.
Yes.
2 Disdainful Strokes for their crazy stuff and their gifts ungiven. 2 D-spells, 2 Negates, and 1 Surgical.
Yeah.
That's it.
So the counters to counter their key spells.
Yeah.
And the Surgical, of course, if they get anything in the graveyard that is really important. You counter a key card, then you can just use your Surgical Structure straight away.
Yeah.
And make sure it's not there anymore.
Yeah, the Surgical helps with the gifts. When they gifts you and search, they're always searching 1 Past in Flames, like Ritual, and Past in Flames, and you can search the Past in Flames, and then it's nearly unwinnable for them.
Okay.
Because they can't use the graveyard anymore.
So in that case, if you have Surgical Extraction in your hand, you can let the gifts resolve.
Not always.
But you need to know if they're really going for that route. That's the thing.
And a lot of Storm decks play Noxus Revival.
Yeah.
That's also a thing you have to mention.
Okay. You need to keep this in mind as well.
Yeah.
So many possibilities.
Yeah. You have to be prepared with Dispel or something like that to counter their Noxus Revival when you try to Surgical it. So.
Okay.
But they only play a 1-off or 2-off. So it's not always the thing.
Sure. And not everybody plays it, actually. So that depends a bit. But yeah, it's a possibility that can happen.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, a tough one, as we said before. But there are ways somehow to try to contain them and ride to victory, let's say. At least boss side.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go for another tough matchup.
Yeah.
The second one that we have, for the joy of our friend Alex Dakic.
Hi, Alex.
Red-Green TitanShift.
Yeah.
And again, what are your objectives in game 2 when you face TitanShift?
The first thing is to disrupt the ramp. They have to stick on your land count. The other thing is to disrupt their mana base. They need green mana to kill you. It's crazy because they need mountains to kill you, but they need green mana, especially 2 green mana to cast things like Scapeshift and TitanShift.
Sure.
And other things like Barlord or something like that. And they need green mana, so cutting them off green is possible win condition.
Okay, very good to know.
Yeah. And just drop your win condition only on instant speed. Or when you feel safe and sound, because they have only mountains, then you can drop your win condition in your turn in sorcery speed. So just reading the opponent in this matchup.
Okay. But most of the time you want to cast the stuff at instant speed and make sure that you don't really tap out during your turn.
Yeah. You can tap out in their turn, like an end of turn, it's no problem. Because their win condition is only on instant speed. Only on sorcery speed.
Yeah. From their perspective, they play in their turn and they don't really interact with you.
Yeah.
But you want to be able to interact with them.
The main kill is only in their turn possible.
Okay. Very good, crystal clear. So we can go for the sideboard plans in depth on the play and on the draw. It's the same on the play and on the draw?
It's the same on the draw.
Okay.
There's no difference.
Okay, no difference. Then I will ask you again, what do you side out and what do you side in?
I side out the 3 Supreme Verdicts, because when a Titan resolve is just over.
Okay.
You don't need this Supreme Verdict.
It's too late.
Yeah. And 1 Jace, it's the same. Tapping out on turn 4 and their turn 5, and maybe they can put a land on in their turn and like cast their Primeval Titan. It's just over, and Jace isn't great in this matchup because they can shoot Jace down with Valakut triggers and so on. It's just, you can't afford playing him in this matchup. 2 Detention Spheres. There are absolutely no targets for it. Maybe a Chandra or other Planeswalker, but there are no real targets for Detention Sphere. And also their hate will come from Nature's Claim and so on against enchantments, so you see Detention Sphere isn't a great option in this matchup.
Yeah,
so giving them more targets for their sideboard isn't great.
Yes, they could side in Beast Within, for instance, and just destroy your Detention Sphere.
Yeah, and get a Primeval Titan back or something like that. That's the worst case.
Yeah, very true.
2 Wall of Ohm. You don't need such a tiny wall for a Titan to block.
Sure.
And even attacking when a Titan attacks, it's just over.
Sure. It's not good enough.
And Sting's Relation, because you want to do other things on the end step, like dropping your win condition and so on. You don't want to make this game last this long. You don't want to grind him out, because every card can be a top deck and just kill you. So just end the game quick enough.
Okay, so you want to close the game fairly fast, and you want to play these cards like Evangelion Click or Secure the Waste. This is the kind of cards you want to play at the end of their turn.
Or Snapcaster Mage.
Sure. Very good. So what comes in?
2 Rune Talos. As I told you before, Rune Talos is great. First one Valakut, the second Primeval Titan, or crazy creatures that have hexproof or are indestructible, like Trun, the Last Troll.
Yeah, sure.
It's just a great card in this matchup.
Yeah, there are several cards you can expect from this perspective. Even Tireless Tracker or Obstinate Battle.
Sometimes, just save you some rounds. And it's just a great card in this matchup. And it's only 2 mana.
Yeah, sure. Turn 2, you cast it if you want to.
2 Disdainful Strokes. Nearly everything costs more than 4. So it's just a counterspell overall.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's easier to recast with Snapcaster Mage than Cryptic Command. So
Sure.
I personally bought 1 Dispel blind.
Okay.
Even if I didn't see a Pact or Beast Within or something like that, because their removal from our enchantments are mostly instant speed. Sometimes it's Reclamation Sage or something like that. Dispel is a great card, but you have to board it sometimes blind. So.
Okay. Well, you can board it in game 2, and then you see how game 2 goes, and then you decide to keep it in game 3 or not.
Yeah.
Of course, but I understand your approach.
I played against one and he played boil, so dispelling a boil was great.
Yeah, I believe so. That saved you.
Yeah, you see.
Definitely.
2 negates, slow down with the ram spells and counters planeswalkers or escape shift or combo pieces. 1 surgical, because it's just a silver bullet, counter them Primeval Titan or use my Tectonic Edge on the Valakut and surgical. This piece is just awesome.
Sure.
And it's easy to recast with your Snapcaster Mage, so it's awesome.
Again. Good synergy.
Yeah. It's just destroying their complete game plan.
All right.
And the Crucible of Worlds is awesome because using Tectonic Edge every game, every turn.
Every turn, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a waste and lock.
Yeah, sure. That's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
That's pretty powerful. So Crucible of Worlds is somehow your slot for TitanShift, more or less.
Yeah, it's
mainly for that. Mainly for that.
Yeah.
Everything very clear and straightforward. It's a tough matchup, so you need to sideboard out and sideboard in quite a number of cards. The same for Gift Storm, the matchup we were talking about before. I mean,
it's much more safe,
yeah. For these matchups, you need to board out quite a number of cards and board in quite a number of effective answers or tools that help you out. Because it's not easy, and they are around. You have high chances to be paired against these decks.
Yeah,
especially in big events and competitive events. So it's good to know what you have to do and at least manage to win game 2 and game 3 and somehow steal the round.
Yeah, and try to dodge it.
Yeah, or try to dodge it. If you have some psychic powers, just get paired on the good matchups. Everybody wishes that they could do so, but I'm afraid reality is a bit different. But anyway, I think it's also the good part of Magic. I mean, having tough matchups ahead and be able somehow to elaborate the right strategy and the right sequence you're playing and manage to steal some games even when it's very hard. I mean, then you have a good reward and sense of satisfaction.
And you feel great.
Exactly, absolutely. All right, so we reached the end of the episode. Thank you very much, Arne, for being here once again.
Thank you for letting me here.
Yeah, absolutely. Always welcome. And you're coming back for sure.
Of
for
course.
Some more videos in the future. And a big thank you to all of you who've been watching this video. I hope you enjoyed because we surely did making it. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you want to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, facebook.com/HEDRON.TV, twitter.com/HEDRON.TV. You find also the links in the description. Just click on show more, you will get all the information you need. And of course, stay tuned on HEDRON.TV for more content to come. And for now, it's goodbye.
Goodbye.